Hey guys, it's Brad with College SportsCast. We are here for week 7 of college football, and we have a great slate of week 7 games. Let's go. Welcome in, guys. It is Game Day Pick'em from College Sportscast. I've got John Hammonds on here with me tonight. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
So, you've been to the Daniel Boone
Yeah.
Festival?
Daniel Boone in it, brother.
Yeah.
Funnel cake, blooming onion, that sort of thing. What all the festivals have. So, fun times. So,
and it's right around your birthday every year too, right?
Every year, it never fails.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you are here with us on Facebook, man, we greatly appreciate you. Our Facebook has been growing rapidly lately. We are getting very, very close to crossing 6,000 tonight. Hopefully soon, maybe by tomorrow, we will. If you're with us on Facebook, you can help support us by sending stars or by subscribing for just 99 cents a month. That does give you your own subscribers chat and page that you can post on, and we appreciate you for helping us out. If you are on YouTube with us, we appreciate you guys as well. If you're on YouTube or if you are on Facebook, please like and subscribe, follow, share, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you. We're growing over 725, I think, now on YouTube. So we appreciate you guys as well. All right, John, before we get started tonight here, I do have one quick thing that I want to put up. So at the top left corner, you're going to see a QR code. That QR code is for us and for the Real Fresh channel. That is a Bet Us link. You can go there. Your first 3 deposits with that link will be matched at 125%. So if you use that link, you will gain money to do a little bit of betting and have some fun. Bet responsibly and just have a little fun with it. But if you use that QR code, I'm going to leave it up at the top of the screen while we talk tonight. If you use that QR code, you will get 3 125% deposit matches. And again, that is with the Real Fresh channel. All right, John. So to start off with, man, seems like we're doing fewer and fewer of these, but we've been doing our Game Day Pick'ems every week. I want to start out with an update on the South Florida North Texas game. It was just halftime a few minutes ago. It was actually 21-21 at halftime. Has the second half started yet?
Yeah, it's 27-21. Well, 28-21 South Florida. Really good game going on here.
South Florida had 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah, South Florida is 4-1. North Texas is 5-0. Both teams are playing, for a championship in that conference. So
AAC,
if you get a chance to watch, go watch them.
Yeah, the AAC, and I mean, quite honestly, the winner here could have a chance at a college football playoff bid.
They could.
I mean, they could. Depends on how the season goes. But the AAC is loaded with about 4 or 5 really good, solid teams. Memphis, of course, right now would probably be at the top of the list. But North Texas and South Florida are right there. North Texas still undefeated. South Florida's 4-1 and beat Florida. So, I mean, pretty good win. All right. Before the end of the show, we will try to update that, but we're going to start out on Saturday games here. And the first one's a big one, John. We got the Crimson Tide. Alabama is going to Missouri. Missouri has played awfully well at home. Alabama is a 3-point favorite in this in Columbia. Are you surprised by that?
Not really. I think Missouri has played really well. Alabama's playing as good as anybody. They're on a roll. Missouri had an open week last week. This is a big win for them if they can pull it off. Bo Probula, the quarterback from Missouri, he's going to have to make some plays with his legs. I think he's going to have to avoid some turnovers. That didn't happen with Diego Pavia last weekend. He made a lot of mistakes, and Alabama took advantage of it. But if
Two
Bo,
crucial ones for sure last week.
if he has a solid game, I think, and Missouri secondary can play some football, I think the Tigers have a chance to beat Alabama. But I like the Tide right now. I think the Tide's playing as good as anybody, Brad, and I think they win this game by the 3-point. But I think they win the spread. I think this is a different Alabama team than the one we've seen against Florida State.
Well, I'm gonna talk about Missouri here for a minute because I think they deserve it. Missouri's still undefeated, and heading into this game, and Missouri has looked pretty good. I mean, one thing you have to give them is they have one of the best backs in the country, and Alabama's not great at stopping the run.
They're not, and Hardy, he's probably a sleeper Heisman pick right now to me, at least in my eyes. But can Alabama stop some of his runs? Can they, limit yardage? Because Alabama's defense has not played great now. I thought they played good last week, but in certain games, the Florida State game, what was the game after that? They played who was it? They played SEC. Georgia, I felt like they gave up some yardage to Georgia a little bit. I thought they, late in the first half, second half. But overall, I feel like their defense has gotten better. But they're going to be tested tomorrow for sure by Missouri in that offense.
I'll tell you another thing that I think is to Missouri's advantage here, guys. Their defensive line to Alabama's offensive line, I mean, they've been giving up some sacks.
They have.
Alabama's offensive line has. And Missouri's got always just about seems like has a pretty stout defensive line. And they're going to come after you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Can Ty Simpson take the heat a little bit and carry Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to look at, the receivers, Ryan Williams. They got their running back. Jam Miller is really, really good. They got a stable of wide receivers next to Williams that is going to make plays. It's going to be interesting to see how Ty Simpson handles the pressure with this crowd. And, I feel like it's his first true road game. Now, I thought FSU was not great. I still don't think they're a good team. I think this will be his biggest test to date, going on the road and playing at the Zoo.
Yeah, I mean, John, here in this one, man, everything in me wants to pick the upset in this game. I'm just going to be honest with you. I have liked Missouri, but I honestly liked Bama at the beginning of the year here too as well. This is one of the games on Missouri's schedule that I thought they might lose, so I'm going to pick the Tide, but I'm telling you guys, I think Missouri could pull the upset here. I really do.
Yeah, I think they got a shot.
This is not a game that I would bet if I was a betting person here. To be quite honest with you, I would leave this one alone. I think this game is too close, to be honest with you. All right, we're going to move along because we have 14 games, a couple of updates, and we're going to do a couple of 2 or 3 things for our big fuss show at the end. So we're going to move along kind of quickly tonight if we can. John, we do have some big games this week. We got Ohio State at Illinois. Illinois has only lost the one game. Of course, that game was an eye opener because they got smashed. And Ohio State, honestly, number one team in the country. They've been playing pretty well. What teams they have played beat Washington last week in Washington. They're a 14.5 point favorite in Champaign.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Indiana, what was it, a few weeks ago? They hammered Illinois. And Ohio State is up in that upper echelon with Indiana. And we didn't see them play great against Indiana, the problem with this whole game is Ohio State just doesn't give up points.
Indiana was in Bloomington. This is in Champaign, but still.
Yeah, they've held all 5 opponents below 10 points. It's going to be tough to win if you don't score. I think Illinois is going to have some chances because I really like their offense. But at the end of the day, I just don't see Illinois win this game. I think Ohio State pretty much blows the spread wide open. This is a good Ohio State football team.
It is. And, they have the young guy in, Julian saying at the beginning of the year, if you guys followed us, I kept saying I thought he would trip up at some point in time being a young guy. I don't think it's going to be here. I really don't. I thought Illinois was going to be pushed for the 4 spot, maybe in the Big Ten. But man, after getting absolutely demolished in Bloomington, it's hard to pick them in a game like this. Ohio State's probably better than Indiana. Okay. Let's just call it like it is. And Indiana smashed them. So I'm going to take the Buckeyes.
And I'll say this too, Brad. That's a lot of points for a good Illinois team, especially at home. I think Brett will try to grind this game out. I think try to keep things close. Altmaier might do enough to scare the Buckeyes.
They have a good team here, but man,
that's a lot of points, especially on the road.
I think I'm gonna
but I do think Ohio State covers that because this defense is legit. I watched them last week. I know it was Minnesota. I know there was a couple of games Washington, but they're hardly giving up many points. Like they're even the yardage. They're literally in the backfield all night. And Illinois is going to have to make plays if they want to win this game in downfield passing.
For sure. I say take the Buckeyes, lay the 14.5. That's what I'm going to say. And we're going to move on to the next one. John, this one, College Game Day, is going out to Eugene, Indiana, who has played well, undefeated still. Oregon, undefeated. They're a 7-point favorite out in Eugene at home. What do you think about this one?
Man, this is a really tough spot for Indiana on the road. This is a really exciting offense, the way they play. I just think being at Autzen, Oregon has a lot of depth. I just think Oregon will cover this spread. Now, I would have taken the Hoosiers if this line wasn't as lopsided, like maybe say it was 3, 4.5, but that's 7.5 is probably you're basing that on being the home team, I guess. So it's just going to be tough, especially on the road. Autzen's a tough
John, this is number 2 versus number 7 in the AP poll.
Well, and then you got Dante Moore, you got Evan Stewart on the outside. The running backs are really good. They got a stable of backs that are tough.
Mendoza's been playing really well.
Mendoza has been playing well. Mendoza's probably a sleeper for the Heisman. This Indiana team is no slouch. I'm just going to tell you now. They're a good football team. Kirk Cignetti has turned that program around. his first year he takes them to the college football playoff. Things are looking up for Indiana in the Big Ten. So, but I think they'll give them a fight. I think this will be a really big fight. But I just think in Oregon's depth and their playmakers on offense will be the difference in this game.
Hey, Shane, just trying to read what you said there real quick. Glad you're with us, man. Listen, Indiana has played exceptionally well. Mendoza's been absolutely great. Kurt Signetti is, like I said, man, he wins games, and he said it himself. And to be honest with you, he's true. It's true. He's one heck of a coach. And
Not
Indiana
many,
Indiana was
I'll
lucky.
say this to kind of back you up on this. Not many coaches go into their first year and take them to a college football playoff.
No, man. It just don't happen much at all, if at all, to be honest. And to back it up the way that he has, like I said, they absolutely smashed Illinois.
Now I'll say this. If this was in Indiana, I might pick the Hoosiers.
Yes.
And
the 7 point kind of scares me. I think this is going to be a close game. I do not think the Ducks here are going to blow them out. I don't think this is going to be a 35-14 game or nothing like that. This is two great offenses. I do expect to see points on both sides of this game here. And the 7 kind of bothers me, but I think I'm going to take the Ducks at home in maybe a 10-point game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's where I'm going to go with it, because I believe in Dan Lanning and the job he's doing. I think everybody here knows.
He's a motivator. He knows how to get his players to play.
But hey, Kurt Signetti's not no slouch here. He's done a great job.
He's a good coach.
All right, John, we are going to the second edition of the Red River rivalry with the SEC involved. This is a good one, man. If you're a football fan, it's now inside the SEC, and Oklahoma is a 1.5 point favorite versus Texas, because this game is played in the Cotton Bowl.
This is a tough one, because Texas, to me, has not looked great. And, Mateer is probably not going to play. They said he might be a game-time decision, and that's probably going to determine who I pick, honestly. Oklahoma's defense is really, really good. If Mateer plays, I think they win this game. If not, I think Texas wins this game. But I'm going to tell you something, Brad. Mateer or no Mateer, this game has more to do with what's going on with Texas than what's going on with Oklahoma.
Very true.
Texas has got issues, some major issues. This team come into the year ranked number one.
Number one preseason.
So much hype with March. I started to say Eli, but Arch Manning. The Sooners are really freaking good, Brad.
I'm gonna give you a stat last week.
I'll leave you at that,
I'm gonna give you a stat last week, John. Texas only ran the ball 10 times last week. 10. Now, their offensive line is having issues.
They are.
And Arch has been running for his life, okay? So a lot has been talked about with Arch, but their offensive line, Texas offensive line, is having issues. Now, I'm going to say this. If your offensive line is having issues and your star quarterback is not playing well, I don't know, man. Maybe you should run the ball more than 10 damn times. What are you trying to do? Drop him back 50 times a game?
You got a good running back in Baxter. I don't know why you're not using him.
I don't understand.
I'll tell you something. And everybody, I don't want to bring Kentucky kind of into this, but, you lose to Oklahoma tomorrow, you're 2-3 going to Lexington. Um, and you're talking
Exactly.
about a Texas team that was number one, had playoff aspirations, and their playoff aspirations are out the window going into Lexington. And I'm going to be honest with you, Kentucky has not looked good. Let's just keep it at 100. But next week,
Texas has not played well either.
if
Let's be
Texas
honest.
don't come to play ball at night in Kroger Field and they just lay down like they have the last couple of weeks, I wouldn't be shocked if Kentucky beat them as bad as they've been.
I mean, I'm not ready to talk about that one, but Texas.
I'm just saying from a future standpoint, you lose tomorrow, your playoff aspirations are pretty much over.
Well, here's my deal with this game, John. I think I'll just be honest with you. I think Texas is going to have to start running the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to drop back 40 or 50 times and just wear Oklahoma out on the backside of their defense. I just don't believe that they're going to be able to do that with their offensive line issues and things that they have. I feel like if they don't run the ball and get something out of their run game, Oklahoma's going to beat them 35-10.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Like, I really do feel that way.
Could be worse. Could be worse than that.
I mean, they've got to run the ball and give. When you run the ball, okay, if you can do it effectively and you can get 4 or 5 yards a carry, okay, I'm not saying you're getting 10 yards a carry. 4 or 5 yards is all it takes. If you can get 4 or 5 yards a carry and you can do that effectively and do that 15, 20 times in the first 2 or 3 quarters, then guess what? It opens it up. When you drop back, they're afraid you can do a fake handoff, you can do a play action, and you can pass the ball down the field, and Manning can look like a Manning for once, and maybe hit a bomb, score some points, and you can look like a good team. Their offensive line is not good in pass block. It's just not. And I just don't understand dropping back that many times and only running the ball 10 times. I don't understand that. I really don't. If that's the case, I'm taking Oklahoma for sure in this game. Mateer looks like he's going to try. I don't know how. I've been calling him Miraculous Mateer all day long.
I'll say this.
He just had surgery 2 weeks ago.
I'll say this about the kid. He's tough as nails.
I mean,
you watch
he just had hand surgery.
If you don't watch another game all year, watch the Auburn game. He was beating his brains out.
Yeah.
And he made a play at the end to win the game for him. The kid is tough. He knows how to win.
With a broken hand. He made a play at the end of the game with a broken hand.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Tough as nails.
And now 2 weeks later, or they had a bye week, so he missed one game. Maybe it's 3 weeks. But still, I'm taking Oklahoma. I'm taking the Sooners in this one. All right, we're moving to the Big Ten. There's some more Big Ten games here. We've already talked about 2 big ones. I think this is a pretty big game as well. Nebraska and Maryland are both 1-loss teams. Nebraska is on the road here at the Terps and a 7-point favorite.
Man, this is a tough one too. Honestly, Maryland had that collapse last week against Washington. I thought Nebraska played really well against Michigan State. You just don't know what team you're going to get out of these two. Now, I do like the home team here, Maryland, but you just don't know what you're going to get with Dylan Raiola from week to week. But at the end of the day, I do think Nebraska wins this game, but I'm going to take Maryland in the 7 points. That's a lot of points on the road for a Nebraska team that sometimes forgets how to play football.
That is true, and that's where – listen, I think Nebraska probably wins this game, but it would not surprise me if it's not a field goal game. Somewhere in that range, a 24 to
Touchdown
20
something.
game, a 24 to 20 game, something like that. It would not surprise me at all here. So I say take the Terps and the 7 points as well in this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John, Big 12 time. TCU is at Kansas State. And surprisingly, because early in the season, I don't think this would have been the case. On the road, the Horned Frogs are a 1.5 point favorite.
Kansas State's not playing good right now. Let's just be honest. And TCU has got a really good quarterback.
Johnson.
Yeah, in quarterback play for TCU has been probably one of the better quarterbacks in the country in Hoover. I like TCU in this game, even at Kansas State. Kansas State's just not playing great. Avery Johnson has not looked good. They lost to Army at home. That should tell you enough. This is not a real good football team. And a win this week for them would kind of, give them some confidence, I think. But it's going to be tough, especially against the offense that TCU brings to the table.
TCU has actually looked and played pretty well. Aren't they like 4-1 or something like that?
Yeah, they're 4-1.
Yeah. And beat some decent teams so far. TCU has played pretty well. Listen, Kansas State, the last 3 or 4 years, I would have definitely taken them in this game. This is at home for them, but they just have not played well so far this year. And
Avery Johnson has not been the quarterback that I thought he was going to be. Last year I thought he played
Sonny Dykes has his quarterback playing really well.
He has. Hoover might be a sleeper for the Heisman. Let's be honest.
He's played really well. And that offense has looked great again. I'm going to take the Horned Frogs and lay the 1.5 on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, John, back to the SEC. This is an intriguing game here because there's an old friend back with the Razorbacks, and he is going to Knoxville. This is wild to me, John. Absolutely wild. I just can't get over it. It's unthinkable to me. Bobby Petrino is the interim head coach for Arkansas. The same Bobby Petrino. Yes, that Bobby Petrino. It's just unfathomable to me. But the surprise here, Bobby this week has made a bunch of coaching changes, brought in somebody. I mean, he's making his mark on this team. He's attempting to win this job, to be honest with you. And he's going to Knoxville to take on the Tennessee Vols in Knoxville as a 10.5 point underdog here. The Vols are the favorite, John. Does he have a chance against Heupel?
It's going to be tough. Arkansas in the last 3 games, okay, they've surrendered 475 yards to Ole Miss, Memphis, and Notre Dame.
Well, the whole defensive staff is gone.
Yes, but how does that affect the whole season? Does it continue that way, though? That's the question. Just because you fire people does not change the way the defense is run.
He brought in a couple of dudes, too, to help on the defensive side.
Now, Arkansas beat them last year in Fayetteville, but this is a different ball game. You're in Knoxville. You're going up probably against one of the better offenses in the country. Joey Aguilar is slinging it all over the field. They got some really good weapons. Staley, Brazil, their run game with Star Thomas.
John,
this is a really good
weird things happen in college football. If Bobby Petrino can be the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks again, they could beat Tennessee. I mean, I'm just saying.
The thing is, though, anything can happen on any given Saturday, but it's not happening this Saturday.
I don't know.
Tennessee's
This
Tennessee's
intrigues me.
offense is just too good, man.
It
They're just
is.
too good.
But man, there's something about the football gods laying their hands on Bobby Petrino here.
Yeah,
There's
but
no way, man. It's unfathomable to me to even consider the thought. I know it's happened, but I'm going to have to tune in tomorrow, okay, just so I can witness Bobby Petrino back on the sidelines for Arkansas. Like
yeah, I
it
just
blows my mind.
I just don't see them hanging with Tennessee. But their defense as bad as it is.
Weird things happen. That's all I'm saying.
They do, but
Listen, I'm going to pick Tennessee, but there is something inside of me that says there is some wild stuff going on in this universe, and this might be one of them.
ain't going
Just
to happen
saying.
this Saturday.
I'm picking Tennessee. I'm laying the 10.5. I think the Vols are the much better team, but sometimes the unexplained happens. That's all I'm saying. Florida is at Texas A&M this week, coming off the huge win last week at the Swamp for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. But Texas A&M has played really well. They are at home as a 7.5-point favorite in College Station.
This is a tough one. You had Florida last week, looked really, really good against Texas. And then you got, the bad quarterback play from Arch Manning. And this week they go up against a really good quarterback in Marcel Reed. And I just don't see Florida going into College Station with their defense playing the way they are, their offense moving the football at will. I just don't see Florida going in there and winning this game. Now, I've seen crazier things happen, but I think I'm going to lay the points with A&M here. A&M's playing at a really high level right now.
Look, Reed is playing really well. A&M is playing well. Last week was a surprise. Billy and the Gator offense looked like they might have found something. It wasn't spectacular, but they did put up 29 points on the board last week. And I mean, they actually looked like an offense for a change. Maybe that was just one game at the Swamp. I don't know. On the road, I think here, at College Station with the 12th man, 103 or 105, 107,000, whatever it holds. Going crazy against them here. I think I'm taking the Aggies. Listen, Mike Elko has done a fantastic job so far, and the Aggies have looked really good. So I'm going to take the Aggies and lay the 7.5 as well. John, the oldest rivalry in the South. We got the Georgia Bulldogs going to the plains of Auburn, and Georgia is a 4-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, I think this will be tight, but I just think where Auburn's one-dimensional, it's going to be tough. Georgia's defense has not looked great that we've saw. They give up a lot of yardage, but I don't believe the Tigers can score enough in this game to win. I think Georgia does enough. And I think Georgia, what they're really going to do is they're going to try to stop the Russian attack, and they're going to make Jackson Arnold try to beat them with his arm, and I just don't think he can do it against this Georgia defense. And I think Georgia comes out of here with a win.
They got some really good wide receivers, but Auburn does.
But we've said that all season, and they've yet to accomplish anything. They've just not been great.
Well, I can tell you this: this is a game that Hugh Freeze needs.
Yeah, he needs it pretty bad. Yeah.
If he loses again here to Georgia at home, where do you think that leaves? Will he finish the year? Do you think he'll get to come back? Do you think year 4 is a given, or
It's tough.
I don't know, man.
It's tough.
Listen, I think Kirby is going to get Georgia ready for this game. Just 2 weeks ago they lost to Bama at home. They won last week against Kentucky pretty convincingly, to be quite honest with you. But this is not a game that Georgia is going to take lightly. Like I said, this is the oldest rivalry in the South. It's been played the longest. I think it's been played 122 times or something like that, I believe. And Georgia's won the most of them the last 10 years since Kirby's been there. Maybe all of them. I'm not sure. Most of them, I know. And I'm going to take the Bulldogs here and lay the 4 points on the road. All right, we're going back to the Big Ten. We got Michigan at USC. And again, Big Ten, it still seems weird to me to say these two teams matching up. This is probably one of the first times that they have played outside of the Rose Bowl. So if, they might have matched up in the Rose Bowl, but this is at USC. The Trojans are a 2.5-point favorite at home.
This feels sort of like a trap game for Michigan in a way. I mean, last week Michigan struggled at home against.
Both teams are 4-1, I believe. Is that right?
And we saw last week Michigan struggled at home against Wisconsin. I have concerns about that. You look at both of these teams. I don't know what to really think about either one of them. The defense has not looked great, but I think if Justice Haynes can make some plays, I think Michigan can win this game. I just don't believe in this USC offense or defense right now. They're not great. Their offense to me has not looked great at times. And then like you look on the other side, and Bryce Underwood hasn't been good enough lately. He's just I don't know. This is hard. This is hard for me to pick. If this was one of those other games where if you're going to bet this game, stay away from it. Because you don't know what to expect with this game. It feels like a trap, honestly. But I think I'm going to go Michigan. I like Michigan, but I wouldn't be shocked if USC won this game either.
Well, we've been doing side by side or doing the same thing here, so I think I'm going to mix it up here and take the Trojans at home. I don't like either one of these teams, to be honest with you. I don't trust either one of these teams so far. 5-6 weeks into the season here, we're at week 7. But I don't trust either one of these teams just yet. They're good teams, not great teams. This is at Los Angeles. This is at USC. I'm going to give them the edge. They're only a 2.5-point favorite at home. They should be able to cover that at home against a so-so to good Michigan team. So far, that's what they've been. So I'm going to mix it up here and take the Trojans. Big 12 time, Kansas at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 14-point favorite. The Red Raiders have been playing and looking pretty good, John.
Yeah, their schedule hasn't been great. It's not been difficult really, but they did hold 2 really good teams to 21 points, which was Utah and Houston, a Houston team that's playing about as good as anybody on offense. Kansas, to me, they got some upside on offense. But I'm going to tell you something, Brad. I'm a big believer in the Big Red machine, the Red Raiders. I think this team has a chance to go to the college football playoff, and I think they can crash the party too. They're that good. They paid a lot on their transfer hits. They used a lot of money
They got a billionaire backing. So yeah,
they did. Yeah, they got things rolling down there. And I expect them to roll this game. I think they win by 14 plus. I do think Kansas will score, but it's not going to be enough. Texas Tech is playing too good right now.
Texas Tech their offense has been rolling. Their
Yeah,
quarterback is playing
I think
really well.
Kansas is going to do enough to score, but them stopping Texas Tech is going to be the problem.
Listen, Kansas does have some offense, so they're probably going to put a few points on the board here. But like Texas Tech, this might be a 45-28 score or something. Something like that. I think you're going to see a high scoring game in this. That's what I think. You got two pretty good offenses, and I think you're going to see a high scoring game.
I'm going to be honest with you, Brad. This might be the best Texas Tech team we've seen
Since the
since
2013.
since Graham Harrell.
Yeah, 2013, I believe,
And
was there.
maybe even Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
It's
they
been that
have
long.
a chance here, and they can't lose a game like this at home.
Well, and Joey McGuire is in his fourth year, and he's 10 games over 500. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And like I said, the Red Raiders have been playing good. The quarterback play has been fantastic for them so far.
The other question, though, is can the Red Raiders contain Jalen Daniels? Daniels has played really, really well offensively.
Yeah, that's offense.
They make some stops to kind of stop him. But on the other side, how can Kansas stop Texas Tech? Because they've been doing the same exact thing. I think you're going to see some points up in this game.
I do too. I'm going to take the Red Raiders and lay the 14. I don't like laying 14 points most of the time, but I think that's what I'm going to do in this one. John, we're going back to the SEC one more time here. South Carolina Gamecocks are headed to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers. A night game here, Saturday night in Death Valley, and the Tigers are 8.5-point favorite at home.
This one's a tough one because LSU's offense does not look great at all.
It's weird to say because the last couple of 2 or 3 years, their offense just clicking.
And even last week, their defense played kind of bad. Trinidad Chambliss played really, really well against them. Ole Miss. They got Lenore Sellers coming in, who's also a guy that can be dangerous with his arm. South Carolina's a real threat in this game, Brad. Believe it or not, LSU's defense, no matter what, they're probably going to be the best unit out on that field. And I think they do just enough to win this game. But I wouldn't be shocked if South Carolina won this game, honestly. Because, last year they're looking for some revenge after what happened. After some of the officiating, I think they're going to have that on their mind a little bit. But
they better not be worried about that in Death Valley on Saturday night.
And let's be honest, I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing here, but the Tigers' offense, it stinks. Let's just be frank, it's not good. This game's going to be close. Either way, I think it's going to be a tight game. But I think LSU is just slightly better than what South Carolina is.
So here's what I think. I
will say this: it's going to be ugly, but I think LSU wins this game.
I think Nussmeier might actually find something in this game, to be honest with you. I'm not sold on South Carolina's defense on the backside. They're good at the defensive line, which might actually hurt a little bit here, but I'm not sold on the backside. I think Barry Brown, a couple of their receivers could actually hit something here in this game. And here's my thing. It is tough as nails to win on the road on a Saturday night in Baton Rouge. I don't care. I don't care what team, what year, or what Saturday. It is always an absolute tough. I'm not going against the Tigers on a Saturday night in Death Valley.
I ain't either. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked if South Carolina won this, but I also don't be shocked if LSU kind of figures it out.
I think LSU finds something here. I'm going to say that they actually cover the 8.5.
Well, South Carolina's defense is not good, so they're probably going to put some points on the board. So hopefully the offense can kind of figure it out this week. And if they do, LSU's defense is enough to hold them out.
All right. We're going to go back. We're going to finish with two games in the Big 12. And John, we're doing 14 games this week. This is number 13. BYU Cougars are in Arizona to take on the Wildcats. And on the road, the Cougars are a 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I love the BYU quarterback, Barry Bachmeier. He's having a fabulous season. He's had 7 touchdowns, only had 1 interception. Arizona's defense is really, really good. They've allowed 0 touchdowns on 4.9 yards per pass attempt. So this is like going up against power versus power type thing.
Yeah.
And this will be a loud environment. Tucson, Arizona has improved. They're getting better. This will be a loud environment for BYU.
Or whatever his name is, actually played pretty good last week.
Yeah, and if BYU wants to, win this game, they're going to have to overcome penalties, crowd noise, mistakes. And I think they do. I think they win this game. But I also believe that Arizona is going to give them all they want and more when it comes down to it, because this is not a bad Arizona team.
No, I said Fafita actually played pretty good last week.
He did. I thought he played great.
I mean, so you got 2 big quarterbacks in this. Arizona's got a great defense. BYU's been awesome, undefeated, so far this season. They have a chance here in the Big 12. Again, they had one last year, lost a game or 2 down the stretch, and completely blew it. They had a chance at the college football playoff, but they've come back out this year. They're 5-0 and still one of the undefeated teams here. Arizona's played well. I think they're 4-1. Is that right?
Yeah, they're 4-1.
Yeah, they're 4-1. Arizona's played well. I'm going to take the Cougars narrowly on the road here, and I think they can cover the 1.5 in a win. But I think that's where I'm going to go with that one. And our last game, John, is the Arizona State. Arizona State is at Utah, and the Utes are an 8.5-point favorite. Again, John, this is usually a tough place to play.
Well, let's be fair. Arizona State has been lucky to win in recent weeks. They had the game last week where they had to come back and win. They barely even won that game. I think, what was it? It was BYU. No, it was I'm trying to think the team that they played last week.
Was it Iowa State? They got beat.
No, it was TCU, I believe. I can't remember. It was either TCU or I can't remember. But anyways, Arizona State is still, I think, searching for that big win and getting kind of back into the big race. And I think they can do that if they win this game. But Utah's really good. But then we saw what Utah did a couple of weeks ago with, Texas Tech. They got blown out of their own building. So
and they don't lose very often. So this is back at home.
They don't lose very often in Salt Lake City. So I don't think Utah is going to want to kind of bring that back to their forefront, what Texas Tech did to them. And I think Utah takes care of business here. But Arizona State, man, they're so up and down this year compared to last year.
Is Levitt going to play? Because I don't think I'm hearing that Levitt may not play.
I haven't heard anything. I do think Arizona State is more battle tested than Utah. They played Mississippi State, they played TCU, they played some teams. Utah has really only played Texas Tech. So, I think that now they get back to home. I think they have a chance to kind of redeem themselves and win that game after losing that big.
Listen, Utah still kind of has a chance here in the Big 12 if they can keep winning. I think Arizona State's
they're up and down, Brad.
They're behind the 4-1 and 5-0 teams, and I think Utah has a good chance here to be at home. Kyle Whittingham usually has a great defense. 2 weeks ago, they slipped up and let Texas Tech run over them late in that game. It was a close game. through mostly the three quarters and then kind of let go of the rope 2 or 3 weeks ago against Texas Tech. I don't think that's going to happen this time in Salt Lake City. I'm going to take the Utes at home. You're muted.
I think that's where I'm at because, Arizona State's kind of off and on. You don't know really what you're going to get. They had the game against Mississippi State where they should have won the game. They had a couple of games last 2 weeks where they just didn't play great, but they ended up winning. So, but anyways, I got Utah winning this game. I think they kind of get back to their form at home.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go with this one. John is on Robinson. I just wanted to show some of his comments with us. So we appreciate you, John. All right. At the top left corner of the screen, go scan the QR code. You can go to Bet Us. It is a link with College Sportscast and the Real Fresh channel. And you can get 3 125% deposit matches.
I don't want no betting on my page, Brad.
The first 3 deposits will be 125% matched. So
I'm sorry. I had to say that.
That is what has been at the top of the screen while we were talking the entire show here. But
I'm so sorry. I had to say that.
Whatever, man.
Oh, me.
John said he's going to go with Utah as well. So I think the Utes are a good pick here at home. You usually don't see Kyle Whittingham teams do what they did 2 or 3 weeks ago against Texas Tech at home. All right, John, we are going to do a couple of our segments that we do. I've got a couple of things here. We're going to start with a pick six, and we're going to run through this kind of quickly because I don't want to sit and take up all night. Got a couple of things here that we want to do. So I want you to run through. We're going to run through the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and Group of 5. And I want you to give me your top six teams in each league through week 6. After today or after tomorrow, we'll be halfway through the college football season, week 7.
That's pretty amazing to believe, Brad. Honestly, it goes by pretty quick. It goes by pretty quick. Really quick. So
there's 14 weeks of the regular season. Tomorrow will be after tomorrow will be the halfway point.
Yep. You want me to do SEC first?
Yeah, just give me your 6 SEC teams.
I think you got to go with Ole Miss at 1. They've yet to lose. They're 3-0. They lead the conference right now. I think they're number 1. 2 would probably be Alabama. 3 would probably be Georgia, I think. I still think Georgia's there. 4 would be Tennessee. 5 would be Oklahoma. And probably 6 would be Missouri. And yes, I left Vanderbilt out. I mean, I know people are going to be mad about that, but I mean, it's so top heavy right now.
I'll tell you a team you did leave out that I think probably deserves to be there. That's the Texas A&M Aggies.
Yeah, I said that. Oh no, I didn't either. I was going to put them under next to Bama, but I mean, it's so wide open because you got one team that's 3-0 in Ole Miss and 2-0 teams in Alabama and A&M. Like one of them might lose tomorrow, so I think it's going to be a wide open race towards the end of the year.
We're getting close. In about 3 weeks, the first college football playoff rankings will come out. So we're going to start talking about these each week. Big 10, John, give me your top 6 teams.
Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, 3 is Indiana, 4 is probably Michigan, 5 is probably USC, and 6 is probably Illinois.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody that you might have left out. The Big Ten. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. Um, we'll see what happens at Maryland tomorrow.
Is
Penn State
Big
is
12 next?
definitely Penn State is definitely not going to be in that list after the last 2 weeks. So Big 12 is next.
All right. I got Texas Tech at 1. 2 is probably Iowa State. I still think they're good, even though they got the one loss.
Yeah.
3 would be probably BYU. 4 would be Arizona State. 5 would be Cincinnati Bearcats. I think they got a pretty good team. They beat Iowa State.
Give them some love. I almost put them on our list for games to pick this week.
6 would probably be, I guess, Baylor. On that end, because there's 3 2-1 teams there. Iowa State, Baylor, and Kansas, but I think I would go with Baylor there over Kansas. And ACC is probably Georgia Tech. Or no, let me take that back. Miami would be number 1. Georgia Tech's probably 2. And I know people's going to think, "Whoa, you're crazy," but 3 is probably Virginia.
I think it is. I really do think it is.
I know it's crazy to think about, but they're number 19.
Yeah,
they're playing really,
I think
really
it is.
They're playing as good as anybody. They beat
1.
They beat Louisville last week. Duke would probably be next in line.
Yeah, Duke.
Duke would be next in line, and I think then after that, it's kind of it's like a crapshoot. Probably SMU, and then probably Louisville to finish it out. But Duke and Virginia's kind of fixed their seasons. Honestly, and I kind of like that. They figured it out. So
group of 5. Give me your top 6 group of 5. I'm doing it like this because these are the teams that are going to take up the 12 spots in the college football playoff.
The group of 5. That's a good question.
I got Memphis number 1 right now. South Florida might be sitting at number 2. They're playing currently. We're going to update that here in just a minute. South Florida, even though they're 4-1, they have played a very, very tough schedule. One against 2 Power 4 conference teams. So I got South Florida number 2. UNLV should be up in there.
Yeah. I'll tell you another team's probably up in there is probably Navy. Navy's still undefeated.
Navy's 5-0. North Texas.
Let's be honest, though. They've not really played.
Texas, who is playing right now against South Florida, currently should still be in that top 6, to be honest.
Well, and the thing is, Navy's really not played anybody, but they're probably going to be in the hunt as long as they keep winning. And they're in that title picture.
I'll give you 2 teams that are on the cusp of being there. WKU and Old Dominion.
And I'll tell you another one is UNLV.
I put UNLV in my 6, really, to be honest.
They've stayed undefeated. They beat UCLA. Their strength of schedule is what's killing them. But I think if Dan Mullen stays undefeated and they win their conference, I think they got a shot at it.
Oh, I do too, 100%.
Now, if you mentioned Old Dominion, now they wasn't even near the radar last year, but they've turned some heads. They only lost by 13 to top 10 Illinois. They beat Virginia Tech. And they both play each other. James Madison and them both play each other October 18th. I think the loser's probably going to be gone, but the winner's probably going to be in the mix going down the stretch.
Yeah, and WKU, same thing. They play La Tech on the road. If they can get past that, they could be a one-loss team headed to Baton Rouge, the second to last game of the year, to take on the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw, LSU, lose this past week with, their offense. Their defense didn't play great, I didn't think. But their offense is going to keep them, in my opinion, from winning anything big. They're going to have to figure their offense out pretty quick, because if their offense does not get fixed, especially with their defense. Their defense is probably one of the better ones in the country. Now, let's be honest, Trinidad Chambers is playing about as good as anybody. Division
It's a
two kid
great
come in
story,
from
to be
Ferris
honest.
State. It's a great story. We'll talk about Ole Miss later next week probably, but they're another team there that's really riding high right now and probably the best shot that Kiffin – and, we said earlier in the preseason that this might not be a Lane Kiffin playoff team. But guess what? They've proven that. They've
I
shown
know.
that they can win this year. So we'll
All right.
figure it out coming up.
Some possible big news that I want to share and talk about just real quick. The Big Ten is close to announcing a $2 billion capital equity deal. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear about that.
$2 billion.
It's a
Okay.
lot of money.
It's supposed to be a 9-figure deal for each team. Okay. 9 figures. All right. That's over $100 million if you're counting. Okay. And it's going to be capital for each team. They're going to create the Big Ten enterprises. It sounds like they're trying to be the Pac-12. I don't know. I'm just being honest with you. The Pac-12 enterprise, I don't know if you guys get that or not, but it sounds like they've taken the Pac-12 teams. They're now going to be the Big Ten enterprise. Like, I don't know what's next, but it sounds like they're trying to be the Pac-12 to me. But here's what I will say. If this deal is voted, it's not been voted on yet. All teams have to vote on it. All universities have to vote on it. The ADs or the presidents, I'm not sure who's voting, but all 18 teams have to vote on it. And it has not been passed just yet. But what I'm hearing is 16 of the 18 are on board. There's only 2 teams that are questioning it, and that's Michigan and Ohio State, the 2 top teams over the last 10 years in the Big Ten. This is getting really close, and I just wanted to bring it up because this could be a player. They're trying to stay competitive with the SEC. Let's just be honest, John.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to is money.
So, trying to give these teams, the bottom half of the Big Ten is not super great, to be honest with you. The top 5, 6 teams are okay. But the bottom half of the Big Ten is not great, and they're trying to give these teams some money to operate. Teams like UCLA has lost tens of millions of dollars over the last several years, and they are really hurting for money, to be honest. All right, John, let's give an update of the South Florida, North Texas game. See if you can get it pulled up for me. Game that's going on right now. We got 4-1 South Florida at North Texas, who's 5-0.
It's at the
John?
end of it's at the end of the third quarter.
And the score?
49-28 South Florida.
49-28.
Yeah, South Florida's probably going to win this conference.
Wow. Listen, South Florida's got 2 Power 4 conference wins. 2 impressive. No. I take that back. They have 1 Power 4 conference win and beat Boise State like a drum at the beginning of the season. They beat Florida. So they have 2 impressive wins already. This North Texas team has been really good and got a great defense and given up 49 points at the end of the third quarter. South Florida, that Brown kid quarterback with South Florida is really good.
Yeah, he's tough.
The Bulls might be in play here for the college football playoffs down the road.
Yeah, they're in the mix.
One more before we move on, real quick. Check the score of Rutgers at Washington. There's two games that I was going to update real quick.
Rutgers is up 10-7.
Is it halftime yet?
Almost halftime, yeah.
That's what I figured. It's getting close to halftime.
And Colorado State is beating Fresno 35-14, and Fresno's 5-1.
Yeah, Fresno has been playing pretty well, and Colorado State has not been playing well, to be honest.
And they're wearing them out right now.
All right, John, we're going to do the good, bad, and the ugly. This is part of our Big Fuss show that we normally do on Tuesday nights. I have been busy the last couple of Tuesday nights. This past week on Tuesday, I did Kentucky Pro Day, and I've just been busy, and we haven't been able to do them. So we've been combining them here. We're going to do a little the pick six that we just did, and a news topic that we just did is usually part of the Big Fuss show here on Tuesday nights. But we're going to end the show tonight with one of our most popular and fun segments that we do here at College Sportscast on our Big Fuss show. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is going to be from week 6 of college football. And because we usually do these on Tuesday nights after the weekend, but this is still talking about week 6. John, what was your good for week 6?
I got 3. The first one was UCLA. Jerry Newhustle.
Jerry Newhustle, yeah.
This is, you got to think, Brad, this is a team that lost to Utah, UNLV, New Mexico, and Northwestern, okay?
By a bunch, a gazillion.
They fired Deshaun Foster. They let go of their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And yet they go
out. Newhustle's a kid. I mean, he looks like he's 19. I know he's not, but he looks like.
You know what's crazy? He used to be the quarterback for UCLA.
I know.
And you know what's crazy to me is, they had 20 first half points. They led 27-7 at the break. Now, Penn State did come back, but UCLA had an answer every single time. He put up a brilliant game plan. They looked rejuvenated. They went out. They had a lot of fun, and they just pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the year. And that's one of my goods for the week. My other good is Virginia. Their overtime. They beat.
That's
Florida
definitely going to be one of mine. Virginia. The story for Virginia from 2 years ago and coming through and where they are now is really spectacular.
Well, you look at last week. They rushed the field, come back, went on the road, beat a good ACC team. Now they look like a spoiler in the league, and maybe even a contender. Now, listen, Georgia Tech's a good story too, but Tony Elliott's team is not far behind them. They'd be unbeaten if they didn't lose at North Carolina State in a wacky game.
Yeah.
They'd be undefeated right now.
And they were ahead in that game 2 or 3 times.
They was. Virginia's another one. And my last winner is probably going to be I think it's Texas Tech. I think you're seeing the juggernaut that they've been. They went through a really tough season last year. They went through an overhaul, like I said earlier, with top-ranked portal class. They added some really good recruits with a young roster. The results are the team that look like the class of the Big 12, and they look like a contender for the national title, Brad. The defense is dynamic. They get pressure on the quarterback. They're flying around. Morton's playing really good at quarterback.
Listen, they spent for it.
This is a team that everybody needs to look out for when it comes to the college football playoff, and especially the Big 12, because this is a fun Red Raiders team. And I'll let you go with the good now, and then we'll get to the bad.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do the same ones you did, so I'm going to stay in the SEC for a couple. We've been giving him hell here at College Sportscast, so I gotta say, Billy Napier and finding some offense last week against the Texas Longhorns at home in the Swamp was absolutely good for him, good for the Gator fans. SEC Nation was there. It was good to see, the fans celebrate. To be honest with you, listen, I'm not a Gator fan. Okay, I'm a Kentucky fan. I think everybody knows that. I despised the Gators for most of my life, but here's what I want to say: I love college football, and like it's just not quite the same when the Gators are just dismal. You know what I mean? So it was good to see them, have something to cheer for last week. So definitely, one of my goods is going to be them. Um, and then I'm going to give it to Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, after the start of their season and most of the Crimson Tide fans ready to jump off bridges. I mean, seriously, or ready to putting for sale signs in Kalen DeBoer's yard and ready to get rid of him after 13th game or 14th game or whatever it is that was against Florida State. The loss last year to Vanderbilt is what started the spiral, the downward spiral for the fans, and a little bit of bumps in the road for the Crimson Tide. Diego Pavia put on a show last year and beat the mighty number one Crimson Tide. And Pavia was not lacking confidence last Saturday. Before the game, he was practicing in Tuscaloosa, in Alabama. He was practicing kneeling, taking a knee to win the game before the game started. Okay? Now, he's not lacking confidence, folks. I'm telling you. The kid is confident. And Vandy had their chances. If they don't get that strip fumble, drive it, when Vandy was driving on Pavia, and that late turnover, who knows? But Alabama kind of saved their season, I think. It was a game they absolutely could not lose with that fan base after last year and the Florida State game. They absolutely could not lose that game. And they kind of ended up winning it convincingly, 30-14 or something like that, against Vanderbilt. A 5-1 Vanderbilt team. They were still undefeated last week. And Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Ty Simpson have rebounded very well and very nicely through week 6 of college football. All right, John, you're bad.
Do you really want to know?
Well, we're bound to be in here somewhere. Could be ugly, I guess. I don't know.
It's one of them is Texas. You lose to a Florida team that is kind of on the verge of blowing their coach away and sending him on his way. But let's get real. The Gators were 0-3 against the Bowl subdivision before Saturday. They're probably not going to make the playoff. Arch Manning has got a lot of criticism. He threw for 263 yards and a pair of interceptions. But this loss is more so on the defense. They allowed 457 yards, Brad.
To Florida?
Yes. He threw for 298 yards.
To Florida?
Yes. Texas defense is in major trouble against Oklahoma if Mateer's playing. If they don't get this shit routed quick.
I'm telling you, it's not good.
It's not. And I'm going to tell you another, in my other bad, I got two. I actually got two bads. and you're probably going to be mad at me for saying this, but it's Bill Belichick. I mean, it's gotten to the point of,
I'm so sure that that's not ugly, but okay.
I mean, it's bad, but still, you know, he's making more headlines, I feel like, off the field than his team even has on it.
Is he
Like,
even actually on the field? Because I mean,
listen, Brad, Clemson was 1-3, okay, going into this game. This could have been a game that North Carolina could have
Clemson's
counted.
offense looked pathetic before Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels got there.
Here's the problem. You know, you get whipped on national TV opening night against TCU. Then you beat Charlotte and Richmond, okay? They were embarrassed by UCF. Listen, this is not a team that is ready for ACC football. They're just not good. They're just not. They had to go through a whole portal change. And listen, Brad, I've said it since day one. Bill Belichick is probably a legendary coach. You know, he won 6 Super Bowls, and he and a couple more as assistant. What was it with the Giants? But so far here in Chapel Hill, it's been an absolute dumpster fire, and I feel like he needs to just ride off into the sunset and just, you know,
He ain't riding off anywhere. He'll show up at some behind some desk as an analyst is where he'll be.
Yeah. And my third one,
and Jordan will be sitting right behind him.
And my third one is Maryland. Saturday. Like,
I'm not talking about Michael Jordan either.
Maryland was up 20-0. 20-0, Brad. I think it was the end of the third quarter. They outgained Maryland by, I think, 100 yards, I think. But Maryland has got to be absolutely beside itself. They managed just 52 total yards on its final 4 drives. And we've seen this with Maryland all last year, the year before. Like, they start out great, and then they just take a nosedive. And that happened again Saturday.
Take a nosedive.
So that's my bad for the week. And Maryland, North Carolina, and Texas. Texas got some issues, and it's not their offense. I don't think their offense is not great, but their defense is it was supposed to be one of the best units in college football.
Sound effects brought to you by.
Yeah. Now, what's your bad for the week?
I mean, gosh, I'm going to say Kentucky. All right, I'm just going to say it. They probably deserve to be in the ugly category, to be quite honest with you. But my God, we've been talking about this. I feel like I could just record something and then just play it back every damn week. I'm serious as a heart attack. I could have recorded something 2 years ago and just play it back every damn week. Like, that's where I think that the reason why it's bad is, my God, is there anybody in that football program that knows how to make progress? Anybody? Because I don't see it. Dysfunction?
You're getting me tickled the way you're looking at the camera.
Dysfunction? Don't even know the rules of formations. Lollygag your way down the field for extra penalties.
You know what will be icing on the proverbial cake? I said this earlier. Tennessee Tech, and I know everybody's probably thinking I ain't thinking much down the road, but we're looking ahead at certain games. But Tennessee Tech is averaging over what, Brad? 50, 40 points a game?
Yeah, they've been beating opponents by 44 points a game.
Yes. What would be the odds? I'm saying, the dysfunction, What would be the odds of them coming into Lexington and ending Mark Stoops' reign as Kentucky head coach?
Is there anybody that can fix the problems on offense? Anybody? I mean, at this point, hell, give me a call. I'll come help you.
Like, what boggles my mind, Brad, is it feels like there's a jet sweep every once in a while. Then there's a running play, and then you try to throw the ball down the field when you're behind the chains. Like, what are we doing?
I'm just naming the one, man. That's mine.
Well,
And
the thing that really bothers me is the punt. You can't even get lined up for a punt. Like, how do you not get lined up for a freaking punt?
honestly, there's not much. You shake your head. It's just like, what in the world? Like, for real. Now, ugly. Let's get to our ugly. What is some of your ugly? Because I'm going to name Bill Belichick and all the stuff that's going on out there as one of my uglies.
One of my ugly is Penn State.
That's true.
I say that because this was supposed to have been the best roster in Penn State's history. They still got to play Ohio State, Brad, in Indiana.
They gave up how many yards to UCLA?
I can't remember.
460 something.
I can't remember. Something of that.
42 points to UCLA.
He had 128 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Nico Iamaleava, and he had 166 yards passing.
You're welcome, Nico. You're welcome.
Jerry Neuheisel story is pretty amazing, and especially seeing his dad cheer him on in the studio. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I thought Knowles was supposed to be the best defensive coordinator.
Apparently not. And then they lost to Oregon, which was expected in that game. You lose in double overtime. Now, losing to UCLA is a result that probably is going to knock you out of the opportunity to go.
Knocked them out of the AP Bowl. I can tell you that from the top 10 spots. Number 7.
UCLA has been awful, Brad. And this began as a absolute beatdown. It was 27-7. They had a 295-92 in yardage at halftime. Penn State only had 92 total yards at halftime.
Yeah. I know.
And I don't think this is all on Drew Allar either. I think some of this is on the defense that was supposed to be one of the best in the country. And they just got shredded by Nico Iamaleava.
At UCLA, not Tennessee.
UCLA.
Just so we're keeping score.
Yeah. And then my other ugly. Trying to think what my other ugly would be.
You want to know what mine is? I'll give you mine while you think.
I'll tell you one where my ugly is, and I'll let you go on. I'll go Syracuse. After beating Clemson, they've gone from ACC probably in the top 10 to the bottom of the conference. They only managed a field goal to Duke. They got whipped by a not great SMU team that struggled this year. Now, let's be fair. They lost their quarterback, Steve Angeli, for the year. They're not the same team that without him, and they ain't the same team that was last year, but I still think Syracuse is good. I mean, you just don't go to Death Valley and beat Clemson and say you're not good. I mean, because Clemson has still got talented players on that team.
Yeah.
And they still went in there and whipped them. So, to be fair, they did lose their quarterback. But I feel like the last 2 weeks, they've looked like a totally different product. You got the coach and offensive coordinator, whoever, the quarterback, getting into it on the sidelines. There's a lot of dysfunction there, too, between Syracuse players and coaches. And then you had the call-in with the uncle. I don't know if you've seen that with the wide receiver, the one that came from Texas. His uncle called into a call-in show and said that he was wanting to transfer. He didn't like the way he was not getting the ball. there's a lot of stuff going on at Syracuse right now. But that was my other ugly. I just felt like that they've went a 100, 200-degree backward turn since that win at Clemson.
which was just a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right, but here's mine, and this one I'm putting this on the landscape of college football. Okay, I'm putting this on the Big Ten. I'm putting this on the ACC. I'm putting this on the TV deals that did not come through. But what has happened out at Oregon State is very, very disappointing and ugly, to be honest with you. I'm 2 years ago, Coach Smith had Oregon State as a 10, 11 win team.
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago, 2 and 3 years ago, they were clicking and was near the top of the Pac-12 just 2 and 3 years ago. And then the brass for the Pac-12 twiddled their thumbs after USC and UCLA announced they were leaving, sit on their thumbs, to be quite honest with you, and done nothing while the Pac-12 did, or Big 12 did. If the Pac-12 would have jumped on SMU and maybe Boise State from the Mountain West from the very damn beginning, I don't think the Pac-12 falls apart if they do that. And then for the Big Ten and the Big 12 to pick them apart and do what they did and leave out Oregon State and Washington State, shame on college football, shame on everybody. It's not a good look. I hate to see what is going on with the Beavers.
Well, when I started to say, you said the other one, Washington State's in the same position, honestly.
Well, Washington State's at least 3-2 or something like that. Oregon State is 0-6. And facing a team this week, let's face it, the way they've looked, they got Malik Murphy at quarterback, who was one of the star recruits on a Texas squad 2 years ago, was the backup to Quinn Ewers, came in and started a game, if I remember right, or at least came into a game. Malik Murphy did with Texas 2 years ago. And I'm not sure what is going on out there, but it is ugly and quite honestly sad. And I think all of college football, the landscape of college athletics, is to blame.
And now to your ugly Bill Belichick.
Well, I said that off the bat. Belichick, I mean, what's going on in North Carolina is just a circus, man. It's a circus. Like, please, can we just get to some football? Honestly, it's just a circus. I want to play the circus music every time I see anything to do with UNC football. Yeah, I just want to play the circus music. So, yeah.
Well, I want to say this, and we'll log out. But the problem is you got Jordan, his woman, on the sidelines trying to talk to him before a game. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But how many coaches' wives do you see going on the field?
None.
Very rare.
And you sure don't see some fine-looking, hot 23-year-old.
Now, to be fair, Nick Saban's wife was on the field with him, but she had a group that she took care of. Like, it was like something that had to do with the Tide spirit or something kind of like. But she was always on the field with Nick Saban when he come out.
Yeah,
But
but she was not. She
she was
was
not.
down the line. She wasn't right there whispering up in his ear and all this stuff. Like, what are you doing? Get it off the field. Can we please get to some football?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this is what's going on. And even I don't know if you saw it, but they have abandoned the Hulu series.
Yeah.
After the rough
They got an
start,
assistant coach that's in trouble. They got the
he was
Jordan
suspended.
stuff going on. They've got all this stuff, whether he's going to stay or go or get bought out, and all this stuff going on. Can you please? It's in season. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not down in Tar Heel land, but the football season started.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know this or not, but the football season is actually started. It's
Yeah.
almost halfway over. Y'all might want to join in, participate.
Yeah. I mean, it's there.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
know. I'm just take a guess. Because it
All right,
seems
guys.
like every week we're discussing Bill Belichick in this situation.
I mean,
Like it's every week.
I'm telling you, the football season is almost half over. Y'all might want to join in. I'm not sure. All right, Home Field Apparel. It's at the top of the screen. QR code. Scan that code. You can go straight to shopping. Get some really cool vintage gear from Home Field Apparel. Collegiate, retro, vintage gear. Man, they got some really cool logos, mascots, and all kinds of stuff there to choose from. There's over 180 teams. Use our code CSCast and help us out. Appreciate
And
that.
and College Sportscast will be at the Big Blue Madness tomorrow night.
We will. We will. I'm going to have me and Eric Bird is going to be there taking pictures, and we're proud to be a part of it. So, all right, guys, the Real Fresh channel, check them out. Stadium Rant, check them out. John is still writing. I'm going to get back to some writing as soon as I get this week over with.
It's been a wild week.
It's the last 2 weeks has just been. I mean, I've been nonstop, to be honest with you. So as soon as I get this week over with, I'm going to get back to doing some writing. But check out Stadium Rant and the Real Fresh channel on YouTube. Check out our Wildcat Weekly shows on Monday nights. We talk everything Kentucky athletics. We are covering Kentucky athletics, so we are doing that. So check that out. I want to give a shout out to Eric. Eric's going tomorrow for College Sportscast as well. So I want to give a shout out to Eric for doing freelance professional photography for us for our Kentucky coverage. So I want to give a shout out to Eric as well. And then guys, check us out Tuesday nights. We usually try to do our Big Fuss show, and on Friday nights is our game day pick'ems. Now, I will say this. I will say this real quick, John. Next Friday night, we could be doing some Kentucky stuff. So our game day pick'em might be on Thursday night next week.
Yeah. Because me and you both might be going next week.
Yeah, I said College Sportscast maybe, I don't know yet, but we'll see. But I just want to give you a heads up as
It might be Thursday night.
As a fan that when we normally do these on Friday night. So next week could be a day.
2 weeks from now, for those that love basketball, Kentucky plays Purdue October 24th. So it's getting close, exhibition. So
it is.
And we'll see where we're at in that game. Like I was telling somebody today, I don't expect it to be like a real game, but I do expect to see some players play. Some guys might sit out. You don't know, but it'll see where we stand going into the year, especially against the supposed to be the number one team in the country, Purdue. So we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Before we leave the show, there are some other notable games this week. There was actually probably like 15 to 20 games that we could have picked. I did leave some out. If I left your favorite team out, there's a few of them, UCF and Cincinnati. Gosh.
Pittsburgh and Florida State play.
Pittsburgh and Florida State, NC State, Notre Dame. There was some good games that I did leave out, but 14 is a lot for us to cover and do some of this other stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And I just want to put that out there that we do know that there are some other games this week, but we had a lot to get to tonight. And we enjoy doing this for you guys. Tune in tomorrow on College Sportscast page on Facebook and hopefully on X, and we will have some updates for you for
State
big
better
game.
be prepared tomorrow. Northwestern ain't slouched.
Yep. All right, guys. Y'all enjoy football tomorrow. I'm actually going to be pretty busy tomorrow. I'm not sure how much football I'm actually going to get to watch tomorrow.
I got a and to remind, I ain't going to speak on it yet, but I got a special surprise on Sunday, an article that I'm going to write. I want y'all to check it out when it gets posted. It's something special for me and Brad that are dear to our hearts. So
it is.
I get choked up thinking about it, but I want everybody to when I post it, I'd like some people to share it. It's a special thing. So.
All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We will see you on Monday night for a Wildcat Weekly show.
Have a good one, y'all.
Thanks, guys.